Hey campers, we are at the Devil's Postpile National Monument. Woohoo! Well, we had a good night. We stayed in Lone Pine last night, a place called Tuttle Creek Campground. Had a little brook running behind our campsite. It was a most excellent place. We left there. I wanted to do this road called Movie Road. Turned into it was a gravel road, and they filmed all kinds of movie stuff there. Lone Ranger, Tremors, Gunga Din, all kinds of stuff. And we started going down there, but it was like, unless you had reference points, it was a bunch of really cool looking rocks and stuff. I could see why they picked it for a movie site, but it was kind of hard to pick out anything that would make sense to you. So we kind of went down it a little bit, kind of put the kibosh on that. Left there and went to Manzanar, the Japanese internment camp that they had during the Second World War, and that was kind of a sobering experience there. It just when people are afraid, they do things that I think they normally wouldn't do, and to put all those people there and drag them away from their houses and everything. It was a wonderful exhibit. They really explained that they didn't sugarcoat anything. It was definitely something I'm glad I saw. I didn't videotape anything because I just kind of thought, this is something that you just don't videotape. But maybe I should have, I don't know. But I chose not to. So we left there, and then I wanted to go see these radio telescopes array. They have some big giant radio telescopes, and we drove all the way down there, and it wasn't the radio telescope array that I thought it was. I thought it was the one that Jodie Foster was at in the movie Contact, but it wasn't. It's a different one. It was a little bit of a smaller one, but due to COVID, there was no visitors allowed there, so we did get close. I took a pouty picture of me, but so we didn't go there. So then we went to Mammoth to find a campground. That was somewhat of a fiasco. The old guy got a little testy.
We both did.
It was just like we were trying to find a campsite, and it says you have to find a ranger or the camp host. So we tried to talk to the camp host, and nobody was answering at the camp host, and it just, anyways, long story short, we have a campsite. We found a RV park across the street, and we just got a site there. So we are good for the night. It's about 4 o'clock. We're heading to the Postpile after driving down, oh God, I don't know how many. This is down in a valley, so it was like we were just going down. But we got here. We're hiking. I have hiking shoes on, no flip-flops. So we will get to this Postpile and give you some views. Okay, are you ready for the skinny on the Postpiles? Alright, what it was, it's basaltic lava, and it's pretty pure in its mineral content, so it's pretty much the same all over. It cooled over a long period of time, so as it cooled, it shrunk, and it broke into those hexagonal shapes, because the hexagon is one of nature's best shapes. And then, but wait, that's not the end of the story. Then glaciers came through here, and they carved away the hillside to expose the columns. And there's more. After that, there's been earthquakes and stuff which have knocked some of the columns down, and that's why you see the rubble pile at the bottom of the columns. So now you know. Here's a good example where you can see that hexagonal shape. It's not perfect hexagons, but it is hexagons. Okay, I'm going to make an attempt to hike to the top of the Postpile. I don't know if I'm going to make it. We'll see. It's pretty much steps uphill all the way. So Vicky made the choice to stay down at the bottom and wait for me. She may have made the right choice. I'm just a little out of breath, just a little. Well, this is what I wanted to see. It's just full of hexagons everywhere. You can, I mean, it's just amazing how far these do go way back into the hill here, but it's just amazing how it can form like that. Once in a while, you see one that's like this one here, where it's a pentagon instead of a hexagon. But as a rule, the lion's share are all hexagons. Well, there's only one more thing to do now. Head down the hill. That's some giant steps. I've lost her. I left her right here on this bench. She's wandering around somewhere, by God. We'll find her. I found her. She was waiting patiently on a bench at a little lower level, wondering, wow, it's taking a long time. No, she wasn't. She was happy. She was comfortable. It's like 74 degrees out here. What more could you ask for? Because the Devil's Postpile was just not enough hike for us, we decided we'd go see Rainbow Falls. We're a sucker for a waterfall anyways. And we still got enough daylight. It could actually be the golden hour, so we may get that oh picture, but probably not. I think we're going to be on the wrong side of the river. But you never know. Sometimes you just have to go down there and find out. Okay people, this just in. we found out that this trail we're on right now, which takes us down to Rainbow Falls, is part of the Pacific Crest Trail. That's those people that are insane that hike from like all the way to the bottom of the United States, all the way to the top of the United States, along the Pacific Mountains range. Yeah, I'm never going to be one of those people. This is the bane of Vicky's hikes. She hates it when you go downhill to start with, because when it's an out and back, you definitely are going to be coming back up that hill. So she'd rather do that at the beginning. She'd rather hike up and then have the easy part coming down. That's a pretty good waterfall. I don't know if you could see it, but there was people down in the bottom there, and that looked pretty small. I think that was a well worth hike. But hikes must end, and this one's uphill all the way back. Dun dun dun! All right. We'll check in with you later. So if you look at that hillside, there was a fire here in 1992. I guess it had been 117 years since the last time there was a fire here. And they said, on average, the forest would burn anywhere from every 8 to 30 years. So it didn't get so much fuel built up on the lower area. But due to lack of indigenous people accidentally setting a fire, or just to us putting things out before they ever get going, it really left a lot of fuel to burn. So it'll be interesting to see how our fire management goes after the wildfires they've had this year out here, because boy, it sure does seem like it was an awful lot of them, and they really burned a lot of land. So it's pretty interesting to see it. So it's been 29 years since it burned. You can see small trees, but it's most like shrubs and stuff like that. I can see there's some aspens growing through there, so they might grow faster than the pines do. But there are a lot of scattered small pines too. Interesting stuff. I see Vanna hiding behind a tree. Well, I don't know how far that hike was, but at the altitude we're at, and with the elevation change to get all the way back down to the river, it's a fairly strenuous hike. I can feel it in my legs. So I think it's about time to drive back into town, which is going to be a task in itself, climbing out of this gorge. And I think we should find some food and reward ourselves. Catch you guys later.